let's stay on 9/11 though. I didn't even think about this because I was a teenager. I was 17 in 2001. I was in high school. I remember walking down. I was actually going to the bathroom when the first plane hit the first tower. And we had TVs in the hallways, and the news was on, and I saw that it happened, and I ran back into my classroom, and I said, "Turn the TVs on. We just got attacked." You know, it's so weird to say. Everyone was like, "What?" And I turned the TV on, and it was like everyone stopped talking, and it was crazy. And I mean, we continued school that day, but it was crazy to think about that regardless of how it happened, right? It still happened, right? So, because I know a lot of people think different things about it. 1,000 people died, and the Twin Towers went down among other buildings. But then I found out about more heroes. I like celebrating heroes. I like talking about the people that, you know, gave their lives for the betterment of human society, because those are the people that deserve to be remembered. And thanks to Josie, she is the official redheaded libertarian. I don't know if you know her at all, but she's a great follow on Twitter. I saw that she posted this late after my show on September 10th, last Friday. And it was great. And let me just show it to you guys. For the 20th anniversary of 9/11, I am honoring the search and rescue dogs of 9/11, the goodest boys and girls of all. While I can't recognize all 300 search and rescue dogs enlisted, I'll do as many as I can. Grab your own pup and Kleenex and read along. Look at this. The above photo is the iconic Riley being transported out of the debris of the World Trade Center September 15th, 2001. Navy photo by Jim Watson. Riley never gave up looking for the living. Here's Brentage. Was 2 when she and her handler Denise Corliss were part of the Texas Task Force 1 sent to Ground Zero. They spent 10 days at the scene searching rubble and human remains. She died in 2016 at the age of 16 as the last surviving 9/11 rescue dog. What a good girl. That looks like a sweet dog, I gotta say. Here's James Symington and his German Shepherd Tracker searching through rubble at the World Trade Center Tower collapse site in New York on September 13th, 2001. This good boy found the last remaining survivor and has been cloned to create many more brilliant dogs just like him. Cloned. Interesting. Thank you, Tracker, for your service. Colby and Guinness were 2 lab rescue dogs that responded to the 9/11 attack. They worked 12-hour workdays for 11 days straight on the massive scale attack, which went beyond the scope and imagining of anything they had faced in their training. Together, they found 12 survivors. Look at these guys. Happy dogs. Here's Apollo, a German Shepherd who worked with the first NYPD K9 urban search and rescue team, responded with his handler, Peter Davis. They were the first K9 search and rescue team to respond to the site, arriving at the South Tower just 15 minutes and worked 18-hour days. 18-hour days. That's hard work. I can only imagine. Here is Worf. He was a gentle soul. Found the remains of 2 firefighters on his first day and had to be immediately retired. He stopped eating and was so affected that he shut down. His handler Mike Owen said there was so much death there, it was emotional for the dogs. I can imagine that. I can imagine that. That's tough. Speaking of tough, Tuff and Tara both arrived on 9/11 and searched for 8 days. That's really sad to think about because dogs, I mean, all animals, I feel, have a true keen sense. Oh, sweet dogs. Here's Thunder, a golden retriever owned by Kent Olson, and Ricky, a rat terrier owned by Janet Linker, were given the terrifying, dangerous task of working the night shift. Ricky's small size was ideal for slipping into spaces that larger dogs were unable to reach, and when he located a survivor, he would bark continuously until help arrived. I have a, I love little rat terriers, Jack Russells. My mom has a couple, and one of them, Satchmo. Shout out to Satchmo. He was an amazing dog. Jake was a stray rescued in Utah at just 10 months old. Jake was the only one done with his job when he and Mary were sure there were no survivors left to be found. Jake went on to provide search and rescue for Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, work as a therapy dog, and taught other dogs. Good boy, Jake. Here's Sage. Searched the rubble at the Pentagon, where she found the body of one of the hijackers. Well, thank you, Sage. Here's Hanson. A Belgian shepherd dog worked on site for 150 days alongside his handler, Steve Smalden, then chief of the Lindenhurst Fire Department. Hansen found the body of an NYPD officer, John William Perry, who had been hours away from retiring when the attacks occurred. Here's Roselle and Salty, were working as guide dogs for their blind masters on September 11th, 2001. Salty guided survivors from the 71st floor and Roselle from the 78th floor of the North Tower. Amazing. Storm, the German Shepherd, and his handler David Sanabria. Storm was never mistaken when indicating that he had found someone. Yeah, this guy looks like a tracker. You can barely see where Good Boy Otto, a certified cadaver search dog, is in the midst of this massive debris pile at the Pentagon. Sonia Heritage was his handler. Oh, wow, yeah. He's probably a pretty big dog, too. You got to think how dangerous that is, even for dogs, you know, because their paws are vulnerable still. Here is Bear getting a drink of water during a rest break from searching through the rubble. Bear was one of the first dogs to arrive on the scene and get right to work. And this is Tikva, a Quiche-hound therapy dog owned by Cindy Ehlers. Tikva provided emotional relief to exhausted and discouraged rescue workers. She would ride the ferry to comfort grieving family members who were traveling to see the spot where they had lost their loved ones. This statue stands outside Houston, where Bretage retired. The plaque reads, "Bretage's younger years of service remind all of us how to live our best possible lives. Although she is no longer with us, her spirit lives on through those who serve. May we never forget any of them." And that is the point of this. You know, I want to remember, I didn't know about any of these dogs. And you might not remember them all, or any of them in particular, but you'll know that they existed. That there are hero dogs that, you know, were our friends that helped us save people, and they did. So thank you all, and thank you, Josie, for putting that thread together. That was really fantastic, and I like that. You know, we have to live our best possible lives, and there's something in that too. It's when you dissect that, right? I'm gonna switch it. I have to live my best possible life. And I'm the only one who can do that. It doesn't rely on you. Granted, many of you show up for me, and I appreciate all of you for doing that. But there's such a problem with everyone being focused on what others are doing, what others' opinions there are, or, you know, being jealous or being focused on someone else's lives instead of your own. And I think we can learn from Bretash. Breton. I don't know how to say the name. I'm sorry. But the fact remains, they lived their best life. They did the best job that they can do. And if we all did that, oh man, imagine if everyone just started focusing on making themselves the best they can be, working out, eating right, finding your dream and pursuing it to no end until it was yours. I feel like the world would be a better place. You know, a lot of the past year and a half has been talking about the problems, has been talking about what's happening. And I don't like that. I want to talk about how to get past it. That's been one of my wheels in my head that's never stopped moving. You know, I want to figure out how to get past all this. How do we move forward together? How do we become less divided? And I think that's one of the tricks. We got to work on ourselves and somehow get it in people's heads to do that. And that's laughable because I know how impossible of a task that is, which is really sad. I want to continue though. I have another cool dog story. I randomly came across this, and it's just a really cool story. This is from Marina Amaral. On September 12th, 1940, a French teenager took his dog for a walk, a simply everyday event. But it was to lead to one of the most stunning archaeological discoveries of all time. Robot, the dog, ran into a hole created by a fallen tree. Ravidat, such a cool name, threw some stones into the hole. Returning later with some friends and a teacher, he climbed down the hole and began to explore. The boys discovered what were to become known as the Laco. I feel like the X is silent. Lascaux cave paintings, estimated to be between 17,000 and 20,000 years old, and excitedly described as experts as the cradle of art. Over 600 parietal wall paintings cover the interior walls and ceilings of the caves. I mean, look at these things. They're probably touching them and all that, ruining and all, but look at these amazing, amazing cave paintings. They could be 20,000 years old. That's insane. Look at that. Anyway, dogs are amazing. I can't wait to have one.